here is my reflection on the piece about this module, Module 5, and the information that we were given on the flipped classroom. My overall impression was that I think the flipped classroom idea is pretty good. I actually had some experience with it at my field experience that I did in Level 2 here at the Waseca High School, where the students in first hour actually get to do some online learning, and then they work on homework in their accounting class. So I actually found that to be pretty useful, especially when the students didn't have to come in for the first hour of the day. They could just sleep in if they had done all of their lecture requirements viewing online, and then they also had to be at an 85% or better in the class. So I thought that actually worked pretty well, and then the teacher seemed to be pretty supportive of the idea. The most insightful thing that I found through this module was probably the information that was given about the Byron School right here in Minnesota, just down the road, about an hour away from us. So I thought that it was very interesting that their test scores in math went up 25%. That was pretty cool over the past 3 years. And then also, when I was reading the article, it said their ACT scores also jumped about 3 points on average, which was very impressive. And their average in 2011 or 2012 was at like a 24, which is fairly impressive. So the next thing I think I'd like to go over just a few things that stood out to me. 3 positive things that stood out about the flipped classroom would be that parents and students have the information of the class available to them. I think that's very beneficial for parents to be on the same page and to have the information so that they can actually help their students. And it's not just the teacher, so we're working together as parents and students. So that was great. I think the other idea is that it encourages mastery learning, and I think going back on the Waseca experience that I had with the accounting class, that those students are doing really well in accounting, and they're learning a lot more than I remember learning when I was in high school in my accounting class, and I think that it is going a long way and is going to transfer well into their business courses at the college level. And lastly, I think the idea of addressing absenteeism is a pretty good one. If I teach at a school district that is a smaller size, I think that that opportunity for students to be involved in many things actually requires them to miss class more often than not. So it's a pretty good idea to have these resources available online so they can just check out the lectures online and check out the companion website things that you want them to do while they are gone. Let's say they're gone for a week for a band trip, or they're gone for a leadership convention for another week, and they're missing 2 weeks of school. Well, now you've got everything that they need available online so they can do that homework and review the different content that you want them to review. So I like that as well. A few of the things that stood out for me as far as negatives, I thought that it might be kind of difficult to get everyone in a school district on board right away. I think it was very interesting kind of thinking about, okay, first we are introduced to this idea of the flipped classroom, and it sounds really great. Everyone's super excited about it because it'll help students so well, but then you think about it and you have to make sure that your IT department is on board, you need to make sure that administration is on board, and even the rest of the teachers in your content area should be on board as well, because if they're not, then it kind of causes some friction. So I think that that would be one thing that I would need to make sure, and I think that is definitely doable if you have a school district that is willing to push forward with something like this. The next thing that I wasn't so sure about, the digital divide. Again, I think the concept of having everyone that is a student, hopefully they have internet access, but then again, even if you have a school district like my hometown of Lake Park Audubon School District, which is a very small community, and they give each of the students grades 9 through 12 a laptop, And even if they give them the laptop, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have internet access at home. So the more wealthy, affluent families have internet access, and those that do not have internet access might fall behind because they aren't able to watch the companion videos because they don't have internet access. So that might be one drawback that I could see. Whereas in a city like Minneapolis, where the whole entire city has wireless, this would definitely work because everyone would have internet access. The last thing I think that stood out to me was the before you flip the classroom. They actually said that students perceive it to be kind of a loss of learning time with the teacher. So I thought that was a little bit iffy too. I don't know how students would react to that if you had been teaching in the class and then decided to start teaching lectures online and just having them work. So that about wraps it up. I want to keep it under 6 minutes. Thanks for watching.